You're listening to Miss Opinionated, real life, real perspective, and unapologetic truth. Here is your host, Divine Priestess.
Hello, everyone. So, welcome to another episode of Miss Opinionated. I'm your host, Divine Priestess, and as you can see from the title, we're talking about who you are without survival mode. Who are you? And it may sound crazy, it may sound strange, like I know who I am without survival mode. But no, truly, who are you? Because there are people that are so used to being in chaotic environments, in unstable environments, in unhealthy environments, in toxic environments, negative environments, that when they are experiencing the opposite, it scares them and it's very uncomfortable. And so here we are, we're trying to heal through that. Again, we're trying to be a better person on multi levels, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. Okay. That way we can have better relationships, not only with others, but with ourselves as well as spirit, whoever you work with, right? Your Gitana, your Congo, angels, right? Muertos, whoever it is you work with, we're going to build our relationship. And one of the biggest things is getting out of survival mode. Because also getting out of survival mode is not going to only help you magically and spiritually, but it's good for your mental health and it's good for your body. Okay. And I'm going to sit here. You're going to hear me stirring my tea for a second because your girl herself is transitioning out of survival mode. Okay. We're about to turn this into a meeting. My name is Divine Priestess, and I have been living in survival mode for, I don't know, over a decade, over 2 decades, maybe more, right? And one thing that like made me realize I was in survival mode again, because I always knew that I worked hard. I always knew that like I would go hard. I was because I'm real big on like I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen with other people because I couldn't depend on people, right? People were always asking me for help, so how can I ask them for help if they're coming to me, right? So I was always working, right? Stressing about money, stressing about like the potential of losing my places I was living, right? It's like, what do you worry about that for? Like, you got it, you're good, right? But it's like getting in that survival mode is very easy. Getting out is the sticky part, okay? So when it comes to survival mode, a lot of people don't even realize they are in survival mode. They're used to it. Right? When you tell someone you're stressed. I'm not stressed. I'm literally watching you in a manic state right now. I'm literally watching you running around this house like a chicken with your head cut off. You're breathing hard, you're rambling, you're going 1,000 miles per hour, and you're telling me you're not stressed? Okay, let's rephrase it then. You're overwhelmed. That's still stressed. It's still stress. We don't need to be like that, okay? And especially for black and brown folk, being in survival mode is damn near like we came into the world with it. And again, I said damn near. I didn't say we did. I said damn near, okay? Because immediately, and this is not the reality for somebody, like for some people, it's like you're born into a family that is poverty level or below average median, okay? So again, money to have things to do the things that you want. No, you got food on the table, got a roof over your head, you got clothes on your back. Don't ask for nothing else. We don't have the money for that. We don't have the time for that. We gotta do this. We gotta. And so again, it gets to this point to where now you don't even realize you're being programmed to when you finally get money. Now you're penny pinching. because you're afraid of not having, right? That's a survival mode. Okay. So we're going to go over several things in today's episode, but I definitely want everyone that is listening to reflect and be honest and truthful, because that's the only way you're going to heal and move forward. Be honest with yourself. You ain't got to be honest with me. You ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to tell your mama. You ain't got to tell your cousin. You don't have to tell Theo. You don't have to tell abuelita, abuelito. You don't have to tell your friends. Nobody. But you need to be honest with yourself. And then also, if you're a spiritual person, I need you to go visit your spirits. Go visit your muertos, right? Go visit your egun. Go visit your ancestors. Whoever you go to, right? Whoever you pray to, go to them. Y'all need to start opening your mouths and asking for assistance, because they don't just bring you money. They don't just bring you opportunities. They don't just bring you love, but they can also help you heal. It's like when you go to God and you tell God, help me to be more graceful. You're going to be put in situations where you got to practice grace. You ask for more patience. Oh, you're going to be put in situations where now you got to be patient, right? So they're going to help you heal. Okay? Don't just focus on money and love. Like, focus on becoming the best you that you can, because, like, I had to sit here and tell someone a couple days ago, I didn't come into this world to stress. I didn't come in this world to work as hard as I do. I did not come into this world to be mistreated, to be abused, to be neglected. None of that. I ain't coming here for that. I came in here, this world, to experience life in all its beauty. I came to be happy. I'm here to be happy because that's what I want for my life. So anything that's not in accordance to having that, gots to go. And that doesn't mean to say like you're not going to experience those things, but nonetheless, your mentality also. This is another conversation for another day. Okay. So, what does survival mode look like? Survival mode can look like always being on edge. And again, I know some of y'all don't want to admit to things, but being on edge, literally, you're always waiting for the pin to drop. You're always waiting for the rug to be pulled from under you, right? You are always frantic. You're in being overly frustrated, overly irritable. You're on edge. To constantly be irritated and agitated and all those things, you're on edge. Okay. Overworking. Hi. Like I just sat here and told you, I worked so hard because, again, growing up, I lived in the projects. Also, didn't have stability. I would go from one house, from one city to another city, from one state to another state. Right. I'm grateful for that experience because I got to see many different lives, right? I know what it's like to live in the projects. I know what it's like to live in the suburbs. I know what it looks like to live in middle class America. I'm coming for that rich, luxurious lifestyle. but you know, but even though I'm grateful for that experience, it also put me in a space to overworking because I didn't have stability. So I didn't really have anyone to depend on. So I had to go get things my own. I started working in middle school. My first summer job was probably, ooh, my first job was probably, when did I start wearing a C cup? And that's also funny because I remember that. I remember because I remember I went bra shopping and I bought a C cup bra. So that was probably seventh grade. It was probably seventh grade, seventh or eighth grade. It's when I got my first summer job. So the summer of seventh going into eighth, possibly, or either the summer from sixth going into seventh grade. But either way, go. First summer job, I worked at an adult daycare. I don't. That's probably not the name, but that's what it. That's what they told me, it was an adult daycare. Okay, and so I've always had to work, even Chores is cool, but the amount of chores that I had to do and the things that I had to do, you would think I was Cinderella. You would think Cinderella was me, right? And so it transpired into me being an adult of working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, right? 5 different side hustles, pushing different things, never really traveling, always wanted to travel, but having to cancel travel plans. Oh, I gotta go to work. I didn't have to work. I didn't have to. I could have took time off. But again, was so stuck in a space of like, if I don't go to work, who's gonna take care of my bills? Who's gonna do this? How am I gonna do? And even right now, thinking about it's got my heart racing, right? Emotional shutdowns, right? And this also can look like just pure exhaustion, right? A person that works so much that when they finally sleep, they are asleep, right? And they're sleeping for days. You're exhausted, your body is tired. Okay. Another one is always expecting things to go wrong. Again, waiting for the hat to drop, waiting for the pen to drop, waiting for the cat to come out the bag, whatever you want to call it, that's what it is. Okay, you're expecting something to go wrong, and that's what survival mode looks like. Now, there are many other things, but those are going to be like the prime ones. And so, survival mode again is not just physical, it's an emotional and mental thing. And we know this. Well, if you don't know, what is going on mentally affects you physically. Because you have to remember your brain sends signals. It's like the fight or flight mode. A lot of people when they get that adrenaline rush, they're just shaking. You don't tell yourself to go into an adrenaline rush. Your mind does it on its own because it's something triggered it because of the environment you're in. Okay? So, being in survival mode, it develops trauma, develops instability, inconsistent environment. Well, excuse me, how it develops. It develops from trauma, it develops from instability, it develops from inconsistent environment. And another thing, it develops from having to grow up fast. And again, this is something that we see a lot in the black and brown household. Now, I'm not saying it don't exist in white households, but for sure, this is the common thing in black and brown households because when you sit here and watch the movies, when you sit here and watch the shows, oh, the son, right? Oh, papi died. You're the man of the house now. The boy is 13, 14, 15, 16. He the man of the house, right? Or the mother, it's a single mom, right? She's working 2, 3 jobs. So the weight falls on the older sister to raise her younger sibling. So the older sibling does not have a life. She does not get to enjoy being a teenager. She doesn't get to enjoy the things that her friends get to enjoy because now she's having to grow up to be a caregiver. It's not her job, right? Okay. And again, let's be very honest with ourselves because trauma, when a lot of people think of trauma, they want to think of trauma coming from solely physical abuse or sexual abuse, right? Or verbal. Okay. But it is very traumatic to grow. It is very traumatic to grow up in an unstable environment. It is traumatic on a level, even though no matter how grateful you, because I'm very grateful. But it was traumatic for me to live in a room, literally the size of my fucking dining room. I'm looking around in my dining room right now and I'm imagining because my futon was like this big. Because when you fold it out, it's like this big. So that's half of it. I had this much of a walkway. Okay. And then my dresser that I had was about this big. So my room in high school, my junior and senior year of high school, was smaller than my fucking dining room. That is traumatic as fuck. It was traumatic. Because then also, I lived in a house with three other people. I had the smallest room. I was the oldest child in the house, but I had the smallest room. My room was the only room that didn't have a fucking AC unit. Everyone else had an AC unit. My younger cousin room was bigger than mine. She had an actual bed in her room. I had a fucking futon. The cheapest one from fucking Walmart. I didn't have no AC unit. So during the summer, I'm in my hot ass room because you can't open the door because everyone else has an AC and you're gonna be letting all the heat in. To come home, ain't no meal cooked. All the fucking food is ate. Or when they went grocery shopping, oh, this is theirs, this is theirs, this is yours. What the fuck do I get? So in high school, I got myself on food stamps so that I can be able to fucking eat. And you know where I hid my food? I had to hide my food in my closet where I can only open one door because the other door was blocked by the big ass fucking dresser in my room. So I had to hide shit, right? Canned goods, noodles, juice, water. Had to hide that in my room. When I would eat other things, I would go to my best friends at the time house who lived upstairs from me, right? During the summer, I end up staying at a friend's house for the entire summer, right? That's traumatic. Even though I wasn't being physically abused, even though it wasn't being verbally abused, that's still traumatic. So don't think of trauma as something like it just like like a fucking shooting or some shit. Like no, trauma develops in so many different ways, and so that's why a lot of people don't want to admit that they're stressed, don't want to admit that they're being traumatized because of the idea of what it is. And it's literally so many things that fall underneath it. Okay. So, when did I first feel like I had to survive instead of live? And I want you to answer that question too. When was the first time you feel like you had to survive instead of live? And again, I can't even tell you like when I first felt like that because I've gone through so much in my life, even as a child, that I can't even tell you. My brain can't even remember so many things. Like my brother will sit there and be like, no, we went through so much more. You just don't remember it because you were so young. Right? I can't even, because also too, the brain will protect you from certain experiences, certain really traumatic things. It will protect you from it. So, but if you can remember, when was it? Okay. So now cultural check. Culture check. Why is survival mode normalized, especially in the Black and Brown community? Why is it so normalized? We're always being told like to just suck it up, like that's just life. Even if it is, it don't have to be ours because I don't see other groups of people going through it to the extent that we're going, you know. Not only are we facing our own survival modes, but we're also feeling the ancestor survival mode because epigenetics, right? That trauma reconstructs DNA. And of course, DNA is passed down. Those markers, those traumatic markers that happened to some of our ancestors from slavery, is running through our veins. Slavery became abolished in 1885. Okay. How many generations back is that? My great grandmother was living in the Jim Crow era. My great grandmother was living in a Jim Crow era, living in the segregation era. She passed 3 years ago. So that should tell you something. Like, that stuff is still relevant because we are not only healing what we are going through in this moment, but we're also having to go back and heal. Because also going forward, we don't want to pass that on. So we, us listening, have to heal moving forward so the way that doesn't continue on. So we're not passing down certain things. Okay. But survival mode is normalized because of hustle culture, right? Glorified survival. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, right? Or every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. I like that song. You know, I grind like I'm broke. Meek Mills, right? So many different songs. We got Key Glock. We got Young Dolph. We got Moneybagg Yo. We got Maxo Crick. The list goes on, right? This hustle culture. I sit here and I tell people because and you at some point too have to, let me see my teeth. Hold on. Yeah, okay, it's ready. um I had to sit here and with transitioning from things. I'll share that later. But transitioning for something, making some life changes. I had to sit here and I continue to say it. And even when I say it, it doesn't necessarily sit right with me. But I will sit here and tell people like, oh, I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler. I'm gonna make it happen. You ain't gotta worry about me. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna go hustle. If I gotta go cut some grass, I'm gonna cut some grass. If I gotta walk some dogs, I'm gonna walk some dogs. If I gotta wash a car, I'm gonna do that. I know how to hustle. I know how to make money. Give me a second while I stir my tea. You see my little prayer. And while I'm at it, we're gonna add some chamomile or chamomile extract. Okay. Now where was I? Yes, hustle culture. But I would sit here like I got all these different hustles. And it's like, bro, I don't want to live like that. I want to focus on what I want to focus on in life. What's going to make me happy, right? I don't need to be hustling like the way I do. Especially, I don't need to be hustling like I'm a man. There's some men that ain't even working as hard as I'm working. So what the hell am I doing, right? That's glorified survival. It's, again, you're stressed because again you chasing a dollar. And one thing about it, because again, I done had so many jobs. I done worked in many different fields. I done seen many different things. But fast money don't last long at all, right? So this hustle culture is to get fast money, right? This hustle culture is just kind of like you are chasing something that ultimately you're not going to obtain. And so with the hustle culture, essentially what you're chasing is stability, financial freedom. And to do that, hustle culture, you are doing a lot of things to make money fast, but you're also having to spend money. And that's not to say you can't stack up, but essentially, when you are hustling, it's sort of way. And again, I'm about to use some type of talk that y'all may not understand. If you don't understand it, then definitely leave a comment and I will explain it either to you in the comment section. You can comment via Spotify, YouTube, and you can comment on Instagram, my TikTok page. But essentially, when you hustling, okay, I'm about to tell myself a little bit. Essentially, when you hustling, you making money, right? Making money quick. However, you got to re-up. So you got to spend that money. So you got a little bit of profit. And so again, you're chasing something. Okay. It's also this thing that struggle builds character mindset. Mm-hmm. That the struggle builds character. That may be true, but there's also several things that go with that. Number one, not everyone built for it. And number two, it's a mindset, but just like a lot of mindsets, to change that, to get out of that is difficult. And a lot of people don't get out of that. So again, you're stuck in this survival mode and it's glorified because then you will have some people around you that would applaud it. But that's also because they can't see what's going on internally. So on the outside, you may look good, but on the inside, you going through a lot mentally and physically because it's affecting your heart. It affects your kidneys. It affects your stomach. It affects your intestines. It affects your bladder. It affects your blood. It affects so much that's happening. And once it gets to that point where it starts affecting you internally to that extent, now you have some health conditions, some health concerns that may not be cured, right? Going on dialysis, I've only heard of a few people getting off of it. Okay. So it is that extreme. It is that big of a deal to getting out of that survivor mode. You want to live a long, healthy life, get out that survivor mode. Okay. Because yes, telling a person that they are strong for not being supported, thank you for patting me on the goddamn back. But don't nobody want to live like that. It's a lot. I get praised so much for how much I work. I get praised so much for how strong I am, right? All these things. It's like, oh, you're very smart. You're very intelligent. Yeah, because I had to figure it out. I'm very street smart, and I'm book smart as well. I'm very street smart, right? Because again, my experiences in life, and that again, it's trauma. Essentially, it's trauma. So essentially, I'm being praised for trauma when we break it down to that level. Okay. Black women, black men, Latino women, Hispanic women, right? It let's ask ourselves and ask yourself this: why is survivor mode normalized? And I want you to go on your investigation because even when you listen to the elders in your community, the elders in your family, they went through a lot of shit. And again, we should be looking to them for wisdom and knowledge and applying that so we don't repeat what they went through, right? A lot of us don't have to be in survival mode. A lot of us don't have to be as deep into survival mode as we are, right? So, how do we get out of that? Because again, this generational survival is being passed down. It is. And let's be honest about it. It ain't to blame anybody. But let's be aware of it because when you turn that light on, you can now see. Let's turn this light on so we can see. Hmm. Let's turn our light on so we can see. Let's not walk around the dark anymore and keep stumbling. Let's turn on the lights and see what needs to be done, what needs to be handled, so we can get out the survival mode so we can heal. Okay? Because we don't always heal survival mode. We don't always heal from survival mode. And that's unfortunate. But let's get to that place to where we do heal from it. Okay. And let's not pass it down. A lot of us inherited that survival mode. Let's not pass it down. Okay. And also, pointing the blame is not going to help you, because you may sit there and be like, oh, well, I'm in survival mode because of my mom. I'm in survival mode because of my dad. I'm in survival mode because of my aunt, my granny, whatever the case may be. Okay, cool. Now, do you see exactly what you are in survival mode from? And do you see what changes can be made to get you out of it? So, again, constantly pointing the finger is not going to help you move forward. Okay. So, now, my opinionated take. Okay. And again, I mentioned this earlier that peace can feel unfamiliar and it can feel very uncomfortable. But do the work, because it'll get to a point to where you become comfortable and very familiar with peace. A lot of you guys don't know this, but I went to Cuba recently. I went to Cuba last month in March, the beginning of March. And when I tell you I had such a level of peace, I have always felt I've experienced peace. But that level of peace was something different. That level of peace was just like amazing. I did not want to come back to America. I didn't want to come back home. I wasn't even worried about anything. Nothing. I was so much at peace. But the moment my plane touched ground at the airport in Houston, immediately started stressing again. Right? And so now that I know what peace truly feels like, and that made me realize, so I do advise traveling, because it definitely puts a lot of things in perspective. It definitely wakes you up on a whole nother level. Even though you may be aware of things here, but to go out of the country, it definitely changes things a lot more. Because once I got back, I was like, I'm not going to continue to do things that doesn't make me happy. If that involves working a job that my heart is not 100% in, then I got to leave it. Even if it is helping to bring some type of stability in my home, I got to leave it, right? Because I got to find something else. Because I don't want to live in a stress, right? A lot of us work jobs that, yeah, it may be helping us financially, but what is it doing to you mentally? What is it doing to you spiritually? Going to Cuba and coming back reminded me of like all these dreams that I have, and how like if I really wanted to make it happen, I need to do whatever it takes to make that happen, instead of pouring myself into things that doesn't help me. Again, pouring myself into things that are stressing me out, but it's like I'm getting this from it. It's not an even trade. Your mental health, your physical health is not an even trade for money. Okay? So if you are working a job where you are constantly stressed, you have no time for nothing else. You don't have time to see family. You don't have time to do the things that you want, the things that you love that bring you joy. It's not an even trade. And I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to sit here and tell you, go after the things that give you peace, that will help regulate your nervous system to help you get out of survival mode. Okay? Another opinionated take. Chaos feels like normal. I done sat around people that they will sit here and be in a healthy relationship, but they'll sit there and be like, oh, it's not toxic enough. This man treats you good. This girl treats you good. Care for you mentally, physically, emotionally. They provide safety. So that's another thing about being a provider. A provider is not just financial. A provider is someone that provides safety insecurity. It bring you all these things, and it it's not good enough for you because you want toxicity, you want arguments, you want someone to rough you up. Baby, you need to heal. You need to heal. Because there's also people that are in toxic situations of they don't want to leave it because they fear being alone. Even though they are not 100% happy, they just don't want to be alone. And they love that person just enough to stay. Again, you see how crazy that fucking sounds? Okay. So a lot of us will sabotage calm situations, right? Again, you are in a relationship with someone who is caring for you, providing for you, loving you, treating you right. But because they're not picking a fight with you, because they're not trying to go through your phone, because they're not jealous, you think that they're doing something. So you got to ruin it. And this is another thing too. Before you get in a relationship, heal yourself. Go to therapy if you need to go to therapy. Work through whatever you need to work through from previous relationships. But I don't mean go talk to the ex, but I mean emotionally. What you went through with that person. What can you learn? And don't just sit there and blame it on the person. What are things that you did as well? Okay. Because again, peace can be confused with boredom. Stability can be confused with lack of passion. Again, you are in a relationship with someone that loves you dearly. But because they aren't arguing with you, because they, aren't, I don't know. I don't deal with that. I don't like that overly possessive and overly territorial stuff. To me, again, because of trauma, a person that's very over territorial and possessive, I'm not going to say protective, possessive, flashbacks, PTSD, abusive relationship. Mm-mm. But people do confuse peace with boredom. Where's the noise? Where's the action? Baby, sit. Your body is going to thank you. Okay. So, healing from survival mode, getting out of survival mode, you may feel lost. And that's okay. Because again, it's a transition, right? It's a transition, it's a process. You got to heal from it. And you have to learn who you are, not being in survival mode. Who are you? You may find out you are an artist. You may find out that you are an author. You may find out you're a cyclist. You may find out that you're a yogi. I don't know. You may find out that you're a chef. I don't know. Who are you? Right? And healing can feel empty, like emptiness before it feels like peace. Again, I will sit here and matter of fact, it's crazy because when I got back from Cuba, I told my godmother, I was like, I feel empty. I feel empty. I was like, but ultimately, I just feel a weight lifted off my shoulder. It's like I'm not empty because it's just like a bad thing. I feel empty because it's like I have this complete openness now. I have this level of peace and this level of clarity that I haven't had before. So now we're going to go into transitioning from surviving to living. And let me see exactly how much time we have been on here because y'all know I will ramble. Oh, we're only at 39 minutes. Okay, we're making great time. We're making great time. Okay. Oh, what happens when survival mode ends? There is stillness. Okay? There can be confusion, but there definitely is going to be identity shift. The confusion is going to come with, are you doing the right thing? Are you on the right track? Is this what it's supposed to feel like? This is strange. But again, keep exploring. Okay, again, it can feel like stillness. That's why a lot of people, I ain't gonna say a lot, mostly we see it with white people, they will go on these retreats, these meditation retreats, and they will come back and be all sad, right? This is a level of stillness. There is an identity shift because again, you will realize that this identity that you currently hold is because of survival mode, right? You are this go-getter to the extreme that you are because of survival mode, right? You are hard or extremely blunt because again, the survival mode puts you in that place, right? So that identity shift, you may become softer. Who knows, right? You will learn how to rest. You will learn how to receive, and you will learn how to exist without pressure. That resting is definitely something. I personally don't like the term rest. I like relax. You'll learn to relax. And that is something that I have been told for years. You need to relax, you need to rest, you need to rest. And I'm like, what? I need what? And I will always find something to do, right? Instead of just sitting there, chilling. So now I got to the point to where I will just relax on my couch. I'll put my phone on do not disturb. And I would just breathe and relax and just eat ice cream and watch TV or sip on some tea. Like, I also make meditation music. You guys can listen to it on YouTube. You can definitely watch it on YouTube. But on TikTok, I post a little bit, and on Instagram. You can also subscribe because my subscription page on TikTok and YouTube is just about to be strictly for meditation. You'll learn to receive. Because being in survival mode, it's I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I don't need nobody. So a lot of us don't. When people offer help, we don't take it because I'm gonna got it. I got it. I'm gonna figure it out. I got it. I don't need your help. Because also too, a lot of times when people do offer help, it's because they're gonna ask for something in return. But no, don't worry about that. Learn to receive. Learn to accept help. Learn to accept gifts. It makes you feel weird to get complimented. Okay. Well, you're gonna adjust. You're gonna adjust. You also will begin to redefine yourself, not based on struggle, but on alignment. Again, a lot of the things I sat here and talked about was I grew up in a project. I lived in a project, right? And me saying that was like, I know what it's like to be in struggle. I know what it's like to be in survival mode. Okay. But it's like I always too, I am more than that, you know, more than that. I'm more than the girl that lived in survival mode. I'm more than my traumatic experiences. I'm more than being in survival. All these things. And that's another thing too. My job with transitioning from one job, but from transitioning from two jobs to one job, I sit here and I'm like, I got way too many certifications and way too many certificates. This and that is gonna piss me off. Than to be stressed or worried about money or again working the way that I work, working all these jobs when I have all these certificates and certifications, baby, the jobs could come to me. The work can come to me. I don't need to seek it. I got all the certifications and certificates to do whatever I want and charge whatever price that I want. So me stressing about money from a job, crazy. Just crazy. Okay. So here are some prompts that I want you guys to, additional prompts. Have you ever felt uncomfortable when things are going too well? And again, be honest with yourself. Because I know some of y'all were like, no. Be honest with yourself. If you truly want to heal, you truly want to move forward, you got to be honest with yourself. You're not having this conversation with me, and you're not having this conversation with another person. Be honest with yourself. I can sit here and tell you, yes, I've been uncomfortable when things are going well because I was sitting there waiting on the hat to drop. I was sitting there waiting for something to happen that wasn't going to happen because I was doing the things to make sure it doesn't happen. You see what I'm saying? Do you feel like you always need to be doing something? And that is talking directly to me because I sat here and was like, I got to do something. And I got to that place of always needing to do something because, again, my upbringing. And again, that is that. So I got put in survival mode as a kid because as a kid, I couldn't just sit around and do nothing. I had to be doing something, literally. What you just sit around for? Go find something to do. So if you catch yourself telling your kids that or telling your nieces, your nephews, your little cousins that, stop. You're putting them into survival mode because now to have any type of rest, any type of relaxation has to be earned. And we're not teaching that because that's not true. You can rest and relax whenever the hell you want to. It don't need to be earned. That is your right. That was your right. Hell, we shouldn't even be paying for water and fruits and vegetables like we do. So you have the right to rest and relax for free whenever you want to. So you don't need to always be doing something. I'm the type of person, I'm transitioning from survival mode because, again, that trip to Cuba definitely reminded me I can have whatever I want. I can take trips whenever I want. If I feel like I'm going to do it, right? Some people get to that point way beforehand, but for me, it took you going to Cuba and back to realize that. But do you feel like you always need to be doing something? That you can't just sit. Man, you can't just lay in bed all day and eat popcorn. You can't just, I don't know, go to the park and just sit on a random Tuesday, you know? And another question is, do you equate rest with laziness? Do you equate rest with laziness? I can sit here and tell you, I definitely had some family members. A lot of them don't feel like that no more. They're older now. But definitely when I was growing up, yes. Again, laying around doing nothing, you lazy. Oh, I'm just resting. I'm tired. I'm gonna take a break. Get your ass up. Don't be lazy. Again, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say that definitely comes from fucking slavery. That idea of getting rest equaling laziness comes from fucking slavery. Like, the fact that some of our ancestors was out there working in the goddamn ass sweat heat in the fields, whether it was tobacco, the sugar, the sugar cane, cotton, brick, working to the gristle, working to the marrow, wanted to sit down for a second to get fucking hit by a European descendant. Yeah. So, and again, we look back at those things to see why things are the way they are today. Because again, that whole thing of talking down, like, some people say like our ancestors would talk down on the children so that way the white people wouldn't try to take them, right? Wouldn't try to make them go work and all those things like that. So it's like, no, yeah, he's lazy, he's stupid. So you know, But we not there no more. And we have to heal from that because again, that stuff still is in our DNA. And we need to heal from that. Okay. So now here are some motivational moments for y'all. As if this whole podcast wasn't motivational enough, but I'm gonna go ahead and give you some more. Okay. You are allowed to experience a life not rooted in survival. What's the first things I said in the beginning of this episode? I was born to be happy. I was born to enjoy life. I was born to have beautiful experiences. I wasn't born here to work every single day. I damn sure wasn't born to sit here and work for another person, making them rich while they sit here and tell me I can't have time to myself, that I can't take a trip. I gotta get fucking approval to go on a vacation for my mental health. People like to say the mental health crisis, the mental health crisis. If here in America, these business owners stop working their employees like dogs, wouldn't make shit difficult for people to have time off, would pay people a livable wage, a good enough wage to where they're not stressed about money or having to get a second, third, fourth job, we wouldn't be having this issue in the workforce. I remember there was a documentary. It's like a little video too that I saw. It was a family owned company, and I think it was France. It was either France or it was Italy. But the interview was asking me about vacations. Like you you pay your employees good enough to take vacation, or your employees get to take like a week off every month or something like that. It was something on the nature of like the interviewer just couldn't believe what he was hearing about the owners, allowing the employees to take so much vacation time. And he was all, and the owner, it was a man talking. There was like two other women with him, but the man was saying like, yeah, because they should be happy, they should be with their family, right? We also don't need them stressed. Them taking all this time, having these vacations and things like that, it helps with productivity. And people in America tend to forget that. And I'm going to say here in America because that's where I live, but, tend to forget that. We got to meet our quota. Making mandatory overtime is not about to help you the way you think it is. You are burning people out. So, yeah, these turnover rates is happening because you treat people like shit. You're working them to the goddamn gristle. Okay? Next, you don't have to prove strength through suffering. You do not have to prove your strength through suffering. That's like the thing too of like just because you cry doesn't make you weak. Crying is actually strong. Do you know how long it took me years to be able to cry, and that's crazy. I could not cry for the longest. I couldn't cry. The moment I would feel like I was about to cry, I would like suck it up. You're not no bitch. And it would hurt to cry. Literally, it would hurt. Like I would like it hurts my throat. It makes my eyes hurt. I was so backed up on tears that when I finally cried, I couldn't feel my face anymore. When I finally cried, I felt so good. I felt so free. Right? But yeah, you don't have to prove your strength through suffering. You don't have to. There's other ways to get the thing to be done. Don't suffer. Okay? You don't have to earn rest. If you want to take some rest, take it. Do what you need to do. We are living life. You are living life for you. I'm living life for me. So since you're living life for you, you do what you need to do to make you good for your mental health, for your physical health, for your emotional health, for your spiritual health. Do what you need to do because I'm going to do what I need to do. And doing what you need to do means you got to put your needs first. Again, with me leaving a job, is because I got to put myself first. I shouldn't be stressed. I have my own dreams and things that I want to do and things that people support me on, but I can't do that if I'm giving my dreams up for others. It ain't my job to try to balance other people's needs with mine. It's not yours either. Do what you need to do what you want to do. But you don't have to earn rest. Give it to yourself whenever you feel like it. You don't have to struggle to be worthy. And you are allowed to live and not just survive. What does living life look like for you? And when you ask that question, people will be like, I don't know. I'm going to tell you what living life looks to me. Living life looks like traveling. Like right now, I want to go to New Orleans. I love New Orleans. I want to go to New Orleans, not to buy nothing, just to walk around the city, just to be present in New Orleans, to be present in the moment, looking at the buildings, being out there in nature. Of course, the food, but being present. That's what makes me that's what living life looks to travel. If I want to go down to the beach right now and drum, that's what I want to do. If I want to wake up tomorrow and just lay on my couch for, I don't know, 3 hours before starting my day, that's what I want to do. But I'm allowed to live life, especially the way that I choose, the way that's going to bring me happiness and joy, and so should you. Okay? So, again, I'm going to ask, because the title already says it, who are you when you are not in survivor mode? Who are you becoming now that you're no longer in survival mode? Right? Now, if this episode did resonate with you, I want you to take a moment to reflect on where survival mode may still be showing up in your life. Okay? Where is it? Where is it showing up? I can tell you my survival mode was showing up through money. It was showing up through money. Again, because my upbringing. Because I didn't have stability. I feel like if my mom had money, then I probably wouldn't have lived in so many different places like I have. But also, if my mom wasn't in survival mode herself, right? So I feel like survival mode was definitely showing up with money. Because that's the only reason why I had all these jobs and all these different hustles was because of that. For some of you guys, it may be showing up. Survival mode may be showing up in relationships, which is why you tend to walk on eggshells with your partner because you probably went through something years ago with a partner to where you had to begin to tiptoe on eggshells because they had a temper problem and they became abusive, right? So we all are healing from something, okay? Now, this has been Miss Opinionated, and I thank you for listening. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe. I also would appreciate if you would share this episode or other episodes with your friends, with your family, with your coworkers. Hell, just repost it, just post, just share it, please. And I'll see you next Thursday. But also, I do want to say some more things before I get off. Please, please, please go support Casa de Agos Dulces. If I haven't mentioned it, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in other episodes, Casa de Agos Dulces is my nonprofit. Okay. It is a 501c3. So, yes, your donations. And if I'm not mistaken, so this is the thing when it comes to donations and claiming it on your taxes, is that the donations have to equal up to 500. That's not because I said so. but that is because of what comes with that. However, every time you make a donation, again, once it's totaled up to 500, then counts. Just like in-kind gifts, right? The exchange of services and things like that, right? If it equals up to 500 or more, again, claim that. Okay, so I ask for you guys to support Casa de Agos Dulces. Please follow Casa de Agos Dulces. You can follow Casa de Agos Dulces on Instagram and on TikTok. Now, Casa de Agos Dulces is Houston based. So if you live in Houston, please come show up and attend to the different events and gatherings so that I can continue to put them out. Okay. Donations are highly, highly encouraged because a lot of people think that when you have a nonprofit that you automatically get grants. That's not true. Casa de Agos Dulces does not fit the criteria. For a lot of the grants that I have looked for and applied for, Casa de Agos Dulces does not fit the criteria. So a lot of things with Casa de Agos Dulces, it's coming out of my pocket. It's coming out of my pocket. I had funded Casa de Agos Dulces for a year out of my own pocket. You know, when people come to gatherings and events, again, not everyone has it. People going through their own things. So I would tell people, if you can donate money, please donate something. A case of water for the event, maybe some snacks. When we were having the fires, donate wood, things like that. But I'm asking for you guys to donate and support. And if you would like to sponsor, reach out to me. You can do the contact form on the website for Casa de Agos Dulces. Again, if you have me on TikTok or Instagram, the link is in my bio. But wherever you're listening, I'm going to put the link in the caption or in the description so that way you can go to the website and also be able to see the tab to support Casa de Agos Dulces with getting a permit space. Because right now, Casa de Agos Dulces is working everywhere. Again, because like I said, I'm funding Casa de Agos Dulces right now. But helping us to get a permanent location, a permanent space. Because again, we are sharing space with other businesses and just also utilizing public spaces to host our events and gatherings. And I don't want to keep doing that. I mean, yeah, I'm doing what I need to do right now, but we need our own space. So if you can, please go donate to helping us to have a permanent sanctuary for Casa de Agos Dulces. Okay. And again, that link is going to be in the description. It's also listed on the bio of my personal Instagram as well as Casa de Agos Dulces Instagram. Okay. It's a link tree link. So you'll see the Casa de Agos Dulces website, the donation page, but you can also donate from the Casa de Dulces website, but there's another one where it's just straight donation to the property for, again, a permanent location. And then also there's a Miss Opinionated tab. But I thank you all for listening and tuning in. Thank you for your support, and you guys have a great rest of your day.